Good morning, and welcome back to America's Leaders from Coast to Coast, the 250th anniversary edition. I'm Stephen.
And I'm Leah.
We are heading to the Green Mountain State today, Vermont, the land of maple syrup, flannel shirts, and covered bridges. We are profiling the longest-serving independent in the history of the United States Congress, the man who arguably changed the Democratic Party more than any president in the last 20 years. We are talking about Senator Bernie Sanders.
Bernie? You really only need the first name. He is a cultural icon at this point. I mean, the mittens alone, right? But Stephen, before the memes and the massive presidential rallies, his story is just wild. He wasn't supposed to be here. His political career began in 1981 when he ran for mayor of Burlington, Vermont. He was running as a radical socialist in the middle of the Reagan Revolution. Everyone laughed at him. The incumbent mayor didn't even campaign hard. And Bernie won by 10 votes. 10.
That 10-vote margin changed American history. And what's funny is, once he got into City Hall, he didn't just give speeches. He was a very pragmatic mayor. They called him a sewer socialist because he focused on fixing the sewers, plowing the snow, and revitalizing the waterfront. He proved that you could have radical ideology but still run a competent government. That is the secret sauce that kept him in office in Vermont for 40 years.
And then he goes to Washington, first to the House in 1990, and for years, the national media ignored him. They treated him like this eccentric uncle from Vermont who yelled about corporate greed to an empty room. But inside the Capitol, he was doing work. In the House, they nicknamed him the Amendment King.
I love this part of his record because it contradicts the idea that he is just an idealist. He knew he couldn't pass a socialist manifesto bill. The Republicans controlled the House. So he mastered the art of the amendment. He would find a massive bill, like a defense spending bill or a treasury bill, and he would attach a small, specific amendment to it. Things like banning the importation of goods made by child labor, or increasing funding for veterans, health clinics. And because they were common-sense amendments, the Republicans had to vote for them or look bad. He passed more amendments than almost anyone else in Congress during that time. He legislated from the margins until the margins became the center.
And now, he's the center of the debate. He ran for president in 2016 and 2020, and while he didn't win the nomination, he won the argument. Think about it. $15 minimum wage, free college tuition, canceling student debt, Medicare for all. 10 years ago, those were fringe ideas. Today, they are the standard platform for half the Democratic Party. He shifted the Overton window, the window of what is politically possible, further to the left than anyone thought possible.
Currently, he is using his seniority in a very powerful way. He is the ranking member of the Senate Help Committee. That stands for Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. And he uses that committee as a bully pulpit against corporate America. He summons CEOs of pharmaceutical companies to testify. He drags the CEO of Moderna or Eli Lilly into the hearing room and asks them on live TV, why does this drug cost $1,000 in America and $10 in Canada?
And it is effective. We have seen companies actually cap the price of insulin or inhalers right before a hearing just to avoid being yelled at by Bernie Sanders. He shames them into compliance. It is, quote, 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 regulation by humiliation, and he is very good at it. He is also pushing something new in this Congress, the 32-hour workweek.
This is his new crusade. And the logic is fascinating. He argues that with artificial intelligence and robotics, American workers are 400% more productive than they were in the 1940s. But we are still working 40 hours or more a week. All that extra value went to corporate profits, not to the workers' time. So he says, fine, keep the pay the same, but cut the work week to 32 hours. Give people their time back. It sounds radical now, but so did the 5-day work week in 1900. Bernie is always planting seeds for 20 years from now.
He is also willing to stand alone on foreign policy. We saw that clearly in 2025 with the Israel arms sales vote.
That was a tense moment in the Senate. Bernie led a joint resolution to block offensive arms sales to Israel, citing the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. He knew he was going to lose. The leadership of both parties was against him, but he forced a roll call vote. He made every single senator go on the record and say yes or no to the weapons. He got about 18 or 19 votes, which is a lot more than he would have gotten 5 years ago. It shows that his influence is growing, even on issues where he is in the minority.
We should also talk about his relationship with Vermont, because it's not just college kids who vote for him.
No, it's rural farmers. It's gun owners. Vermont is a weird state politically. It's very rural, very white, and has a libertarian streak. They don't like being told what to do. Bernie fits that perfectly. He isn't a slick politician in a suit. He's a guy with messy hair who yells the truth. There are plenty of people in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont who voted for Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. They see them both as anti-establishment populists. Bernie is a fierce defender of the small family dairy farm. He fights the big agriculture monopolies constantly. To a Vermont farmer, Bernie isn't a socialist. He's the guy trying to stop big ag from putting them out of business.
He is also surprisingly effective at bringing home the bacon. One of his biggest, quietest achievements is community health centers.
Huge. During the negotiations for the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, Bernie held out his vote. He said he wouldn't vote for it unless it included massive funding for community health centers, basically clinics for poor and rural people. He got $11 billion added to the bill. That money built clinics all over America, not just Vermont. Millions of people get their primary care at a Bernie clinic today and don't even know it.
The Amendment King, the mayor who won by 10 votes, the man who changed the conversation.
And he is still going. 80-something years old, and he still has more energy than most freshman congressmen.
That is our profile for Senator Bernie Sanders. Stay tuned for our next profile.
Please note, AI assists in the creation of this podcast from pointedwords.com. And remember, better pointed words than pointed swords.